Alright, so another episode of growing my video game collection. Oh, let me grab my drink. So this is the stuff that I've picked up, added to my collection over the course of last month or whatever. So anyway, let's check it out. First thing, I actually just bought this yesterday. So I bought this Friday night. So if there's a red box next to you, Terminator, Transformers Devastation for the PS4 and the 360 is $1.99 right now. So just go there, pay the $2 and you just get to keep this. This game, I love a lot of things about this game. I love the artwork. There's like cel-shaded cutscenes. I love that you can be all kinds of different Transformers. You start off with Optimus Prime, you can be Bumblebee, you can be whoever is the red Corvette or whatever that is. The game itself is fast-paced. It's really fun. I love how you change into cars and then you can drive around. There are some negatives of this game, definitely. If you're picking up the collectibles, you actually have to stop and press circle. It's like you're driving around in the car really fast. I don't know why you can't just drive over and pick it up, but you actually have to stop and examine it to pick it up. That's dumb. And I think the bosses in this game are complete shit. Like, they pissed me off. And even if the bosses, maybe they're not like too hard, but definitely the level preceding that boss doesn't get you ready for it or whatever. So this is really kind of like, it feels to me a lot like a reskinned God of War or something like that. It's very linear. You're button mashing and then you fight this huge boss at some points or whatever. Anyway, it's good. I definitely recommend it, especially for $2. Pick it up. That's by Platinum Games. And the weird thing to me is that they also made that Ninja Turtles game, and that game is shit. eBay had a coupon the other day where if you bought $60 worth of stuff, they covered 15 of it. So $60 worth of stuff would only cost you 45. So I bought tons of just like random stuff I needed, like toothpaste and shaving cream and stuff. And I ended up getting this one for free. This was $15, so the coupon just covered it. This is Darius Twin for the Super Nintendo. This is a side-scrolling shooter. I like this game a lot. It's really colorful. It's two-player. The fighting, like the fish in the first level is weird, but it's good. This game reminds me of Gradius a lot with the upgrades and how you get them and everything. And yeah, this is a title game. It's good. It's not expensive, and it's a fun shooter. Like I said, it's also two-player, which is nice. I went to GameStop, and I love looking at their Wii games because there's just tons of obscure Wii games that you've never heard of, and I love going through just clearance racks. I don't even know why I'm breathing so hard. I love going through clearance racks and finding stuff that I've never seen before. One of my favorite series on the DS is Lost in Blue, and this is Lost in Blue Shipwreck. This game is all right. One thing that's weird about this game is it's like the generation right in between no voice acting and full voice acting, so you'll be reading along and random parts are actually read out. And I actually thought my Wii was broken, because I was using this Wii where like the faceplate fell off. So I actually thought the Wii was broken, but no, it's like that. The story for this is really weird. Like the guy's on a cruise ship and it sinks, and then he has like a pet monkey named something. What is his name? The monkey has a name. I can't remember. Anyway, what was I going to say about this? So then you're in like the life raft and you go to, there's something called the propeller and you go outside to check it out and he just falls off the boat and no one even tries to get him. They just throw him like a floating suitcase and they just drive away. That's it. And then you're on the island. This game controls actually pretty well. Like I said, you have this monkey. I would have liked, I don't know, like more games don't use the classic controller and the GameCube controller. I don't know. This would have been perfect for that because you have to use the nunchuck and the Wiimote. But anyway, it does work and it's okay. I want you to see the manual. The manual for this game is like an encyclopedia. I'm kind of trying also to talk a little bit, like look at this manual. I don't know if this might be in different languages. Yeah, it is. But still, it's thick as hell. It's like a book. I'm also trying to talk a little longer about some of these games so you can see some more footage because I know a lot of time when I do the videos, the footage isn't very long because I don't say too much about it. Most of this stuff, almost all the rest of this stuff, actually one Craigslist deal and then all the rest is from a thrift store. Some guy was selling some Genesis and Super Nintendo games, $5 a piece. Didn't matter what it was. These are the three that I bought. The first one was Doom. This label's definitely dicked up, but the red cart is so cool. I had to take all these games apart and completely clean them because they were just filthy. Anyway, when I talked about the Pokemon card game, Game Boy game, I talked about how you have to respect that game just for the sheer amount of effort, time that went into that, and you know the designs and how much content is on that cartridge. It's pretty intense. This has Doom on it. Is this the best version of Doom? No, it's not. One of the things that I don't like about this game is the screen, like the viewing screen of this, is actually smaller than your television screen. I'm guessing that's probably for like to save frames or something like that because it couldn't do it in a full screen or something. I don't know. And another thing that I don't like about this is you only have one button to sort through the weapons, unlike the keyboard where you use like the function keys or whatever, or the number keys. The L and R buttons, though, in this game act like a strafe, so you can go left and right, which is nice. So, you know, they did what they could with it, and it plays well. I do like the Jaguar version of a lot of shooters because I love the idea of having the keypad to mimic like a keyboard to choose your weapons instead of having to cycle through them one by one. One amazing thing about this is the soundtrack on this specific version is amazing. It's so good. Like just put this game in or just find it on YouTube and just get a pair of headphones and listen to it because like it just sounds fantastic. So yeah, there's Doom. Anyway, that was $5. The next one I got was Gauntlet 4. Gauntlet is awesome. I've loved this. You know, playing it in the arcade. I loved it on NES. I'm trying to think if I played a Super Nintendo version. And then, of course, the new ones are fantastic, too. They're very good. But this is very old school. This is a Tengen version of it, and I think this is the port of the arcade game. And you could, like, the black bar on the side just really reminds me of it being in the arcade, and it's fun, and this is 4-player. It's just so good. Gauntlet is such a fun, cooperative game. There's one level in Gauntlet. I don't know if it's in this one, but it was in the arcade one that I played where one of the levels, the walls just disappear. So you're just walking around aimlessly trying to find your way when there's no walls. So anyway, it's good. And then the last game I got from the guy, which was actually my favorite, this is Felios. This is a horizontal shooter. No, I'm sorry. This is a vertical shooter. The other one is horizontal. I don't know if I said the other one was vertical. I'm an idiot if I said that. This is a vertical shooter, and you're riding on the back of Pegasus. And this immediately I loved. I immediately loved this game when I put it in and started playing it. It's fantastic. It's great. You can get different shots. You can charge your shot. It has this very like Greek mythology vibe or whatever. And yeah, it's great. I love it. If you ever see this game, pick it up. There's just so many cool shooters out there from back in the day. That game reminds me, obviously, because it's vertical, more of something like Axelay. And then the rest of the stuff is all from thrift stores. I'll do my local one. I got these two PS2 games. They were $1.99 a piece. The first one, this might actually be my favorite game of the entire pickup video because it blew me away. This is Frequency. I think this is the harmonics game that they did before Guitar Hero. And the idea of this game is you're going down this tube, right? And it's not a circular tube. It's like, it has sides. So every side is like a different instrument. So you can change which side you're on using the directional pad. And then you either use the L1, R1, and R2 buttons to hit the buttons on the track, the fretboard type thing, or you can use the face buttons like circle, square, and triangle. And what you're trying to do is every time you play two bars of music properly for an instrument, it will continue going like indefinitely, and then you have to, without messing up, try to get around to all the sides and do all the instruments, so eventually it makes one song playing all together. And the graphics in this game are fantastic, the music's great, it plays well, it's so good, and I don't know if you can see it, but the box is kind of like holographic. It's actually really cool. I love this game. If you see this, pick it up. And then the other one I got was Black. This game is more of an experience than anything. This is a first-person shooter. There are filmed scenes like with actual actors in them. There is a soundtrack for this that's actually done by a symphony. It's a first-person shooter, and a damn good one at that. The graphics in this game are fantastic. I love this game. I'm surprised something like this is never brought back, and I question why. I don't know if it's a political thing or what. I mean, this is an EA game. I don't know if they're just... Call of Duty is just so popular right now that nothing else even wants to compete against it or what, but this game is great. Play it. Like I said, it's more of an experience than anything. It's fantastic. Then I went out to visit some people out east, and I went to a Savers out there, and there are actually 3 GameCube games there. All these games are complete. The first one was Amazing Island. I didn't have any of these. This, if any game, if you could look at any game, right, and just know what platform it's on by looking at it, it's Amazing Island. When you look at this, you just know it's a GameCube game. You just, the colors, the graphics, just everything about it. This game reminds me a lot of something like Zelda, like especially something like Wind Waker. You can pick from a male or a female in the beginning, and then you're like going on this journey, and it's cutesy and it's cool. And for some reason, this game is worth nothing. I'm not exactly sure why, and it's only on the GameCube also. But it's cool. It's fun. It's nice. I like it. And then the other two I'm not going to go into too much depth on because we did a 2 Pro Noobs video on actually both of these. The first one is Crazy Taxi. I don't know if I said it. These were all $2.99. Anyway. Crazy Taxi is amazing. This is like the arcade game of arcade games when it comes to racing. Or not really racing, but driving in a car, I guess. So people will be like, oh, get me to KFC. So you pull up, they hop in, you drive them as fast as you can while destroying like everything. You get them there, and then they pay you, and then you get addition put on, bonus time put on to whatever time you have, and you just keep going and going and going until you run out of time. It's great soundtrack. Offspring. There's a song, I can't remember which one. All I Want, I think it's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, game's fantastic. It's really good, different playable characters. It's different, I don't know, it's great. Play it. And then the last one was Tube Slider. This was complete. This game reminds me of like a modern F-Zero, where it's just really fast. You're flying down this tube, racing, the other people. There's a bunch of different cars to be. There's power-ups as you go. Also, one thing that's very cool is if you travel behind someone really closely, in something like Mario Kart, you can, I can't remember what they call it, slipstreaming or whatever they call it, but it's where you kind of lose the wind resistance because the person in front of you is taking that on. In this, when you stay behind someone, you actually throw these beams out. And what it does is it takes their boost away and it gives it to you. The idea is pretty cool. Overall, this game is actually pretty impressive, but when we played it, we pretty much almost murdered somebody. So, anyway, check it out. There's 5 episodes or whatever. It's different. That's another game that's only on GameCube. And those are games that aren't very expensive, and it's actually kind of surprising why, because you can't get them anywhere else. Another thing I got here is a Wii Classic controller. These, I will never understand why someone makes this stuff white. I mean, white turns to yellow, red turns to pink over time. So what's the point? Anyway, this thing, it feels like it's new. It is kind of discolored. I didn't have one of these. Now I do. This, I believe this also works with the NES Mini. Cool addition there. This is Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color. I have so much respect for Rare. Just in general, I mean, just making great games and, just doing, a kick-ass job of making these. But this is a port of the Super Nintendo game. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely differences. The whole 3D graphics, beautiful graphics the Super Nintendo had, that's straight up out the window. Which is fine. I mean, it's still, you're playing Donkey Kong Country on a Game Boy Color. Another thing that got scrapped was you'll never see Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong on the screen at the same time. So as soon as you break the barrel, the other person flies off screen into like a reserve, and you just press select and you can swap between the two. But they're never there at the same time. And another thing that just sticks out to me off the top of my head that you don't get from the Super Nintendo one is when you get an animal like the rhino or that swordfish thing or the shark. I don't know what that thing's supposed to be. They won't. Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong won't actually be riding it. You will just be the animal. So it's like little shit like that doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't take away from the game. This game also has autosave, which is cool. So as soon as you beat a level, it automatically saves to the cart. There's a lot of positives about this. I paid $4 for this. I've been looking for it for a while, and yeah, it's great. I liked playing through that a lot. Then coming down to the last things here. One of the flea markets or one of the thrift stores that I went to, I saw this. This is a PS2 wireless controller. This is the Predator, and this has its backing, right? And it's in great shape. This is a well-built controller. I mean, it's not like the most perfect thing, and it's not the most as ergonomic as it could be, but it's well-built, and it is wireless. And this is kind of like the Wavebird, where there's different channels. So there's 4 different possible channels on this, so you can use 4 at a time. And then it has its receiver, which has a channel selector switch on it. One of the reasons I bought this is because I don't have a wireless PS2 controller, but another reason I bought this was I was so blown away that this had the controller, its battery cover, and its receiver all taped together that I don't know if I've ever seen that. Like, I don't know if I've even ever found a Wavebird with all of its components together. So I had to buy it just for the story. But this thing actually works really well. I used it when I was playing Black, and I used it while I was playing Frequency. Worked well. You have a choice of turning rumble on or rumble off in case you want to save battery life. Also the analog, on or off. Anyway, pleasantly surprised. This will probably be the PS2 controller I use from now on. Last two things. There was a stack of 3 Nintendo 64 games that I got. These were $2.40 a piece. I'm going to start with the worst one. I'm going to go to the best one. The worst one is F-Zero. I've been playing a lot of F-Zero lately. F1 World Grand Prix. If any sports game was, or if any racing game was like a sports game, like legitimately like the Madden, where it strips out any zaniness or quirkiness or whatever and just gives you exactly what it's supposed to be, it is this game. This is legitimately an F1 Grand Prix racing game. It's nothing special. It's like looking at NBA Jam and then looking at Bulls versus Blazers, right? I don't know. Someone somewhere wants to play Bulls versus Blazers. I don't know why. When you can play NBA Jam, where it's like zany and ridiculous or whatever. So this is that. This is an F1 Grand Prix game. That's it. You race the car. It's boring as hell, and that's that. Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding. I've been looking for this game for a while, only because I really wanted to try it out. I love the kind of 90s snowboarding things. This is a very stripped down, modest game. It's probably one of the first like real 3D snowboarding games. I remember Cool Borders was out. I don't remember which one of these came out first, but like looking at a game like Snowboard Kids, looking at a game like the SSX that came out for the 360, it's really, really hard to go back to something like this. I will say this game, I like the controls of this more than I like Snowboard Kids 3. I can't stand the controls of that game. The fact that like the speed button is also the jump button drives me nuts. But anyway, I mean, it's okay. It's not complete shit, but it's not amazing. And my favorite game actually was this GT64 Championship Edition. This game is, you'll be driving around in whatever car you want, and you're drifting, and this is like an arcade racer, and it's really fun. I had a blast playing this. I like how, just like an F1 race, actually, you can change, F1 Grand Prix, you can change your view. So sometimes you're like just at the back of the car, sometimes you're zoomed out from the back of the car, sometimes it's first person. It's cool that, that has that option. Anyway, this game is fun. Like I said, it's more arcadey than any of the other ones, and because of that, it's a lot more fun in my opinion. Like, this game is great. I didn't do good ever, but I was definitely zipping around, and I was drifting and all kinds of stuff, and I had a fantastic time playing this. And the last the last thing I picked up is I went into a family-owned thrift store, and they actually had this Genesis controller. This is made by, who makes this? Hyperkin. And this is this has never been opened. This is a brand new 6-button controller for the Genesis. This works with the 1, 2, 3. It probably works with the CDX, obviously anything that you can plug a Genesis controller into. And yeah, it's brand new. It has the mode button. I could not pass this up. It was $4, right? But it had been there since August, so they gave it to me for $3. Brand new. Can't beat it. Awesome. I'm a controller whore. I love collecting controllers. And then actually, hang on, we're going to cut for 1 second. All right, yeah, so I found it. So anyway, and also on my adventures while I was collecting, I found a copy of Okami. I already own this game now, but I couldn't pass it up. It was very cheap. It's in great shape, so leave a comment down below, and then I'll pick someone at the very beginning of the next video. Hopefully I have the Pikachu backpack, and I will send this out to you. It's the greatest hits, but it's in fantastic shape. So yeah, just leave a message, and I'll get that sent out to somebody. I'll pick them. And then as far as things I'm playing, listening to, and reading, I watched 10 Things I Hate About You. Such a good movie, so funny, very 90s, great. Excellent. I played River City Tokyo Rumble for the 3DS. Love that game. I love River City Ransom for the NES. Definitely isn't a perfect game. There's things that should have been done differently, whatever. The only gripe I have about this game is it's not 2-player. Like, why is there no co-op? The Game Boy Advance one wasn't 2-player, and this one isn't, and it's kind of annoying. But besides that, it's very fun. It's so good. The soundtrack kicks ass. Everything is really good. Yeah, it's great. Love it. And then I've been listening to I Fight Dragons. That CD I like. Yeah, they're good overall. They do a lot of chiptune type stuff. Talented band. I saw them one time with the Proto Men. Yeah, so they were good. Anyway, so what... Oh, that CD is called Cool Is Just a Number. Anyway, so what have you been playing, listening to, watching, reading, anything? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. I'll send someone up the Okami, and I will make these videos more often. So yeah, anyway, stay nerdy. Peace.